Hi there. Do you have a teenager who is about to go off to college? Well, if you do, I'm going to go over the top 5 things that I think they need to know before they go, that you start now since it's springtime, or maybe if you're seeing this later, but getting them ready for this first year away from you, especially if they're going off to campus and moving out of the home. So I've done this twice. I'm actually doing it the second time right now, and I had an older daughter that I did it with. And one thing to keep in mind, that each one of our children are a little bit different. They learn at different rates. Obviously, we all know this, parenting 101. But right now, we're just going to talk about the 5 things that I think they should know before going off to college. So, other than safety, because safety is what is, I could probably throw that in there with my number 5, which is the health and hygiene. But first, I think they should be able to do laundry. They probably have already done laundry. I'm sure that they've done some laundry, that they have folded their own clothes, put clothes away. But if they haven't, make sure that you have them do some laundry, because when they go off to school, they will need to know how to do that for themselves. And, as simple as making sure that they maybe take colors away from the whites, or if they do put them all together, you might already, I know all of our clothes here at home are, I should say, dye friendly, or I also iron friendly, because I like the material that does not bleed very easily, and or that does not need to be ironed. It makes things a lot easier when you have multiple loads of laundry going on every week, every couple days actually. So, them making it easy for them, they most likely all just have all their sweatshirts and throw them all together, and then all their pants, throw them all together. Just teaching them the basics of the soap. If they end up liking or not liking fabric softener, and the whole process of beginning to end, and making sure they put their clothes away and not just leave them in a pile. It'll make their lives so much easier if they can get up and go to class and have something clean for them to watch, to wear, and just throw it on to be able to run to class, because most likely they're going to be sleeping to the last second before they have to go to class. So, okay, number 2. I think it's really, really, really important for them to know how to cook a meal or two. A lot of these newer dorms have little mini kitchens, and within those kitchens, they have the opportunity to obviously not just microwave something, but they may have a stove, and in that stove, they can cook something. So you want them to keep in mind that if they do have the opportunity to cook for themselves, if they stay home over the weekends, how to make simple things, even if it's something other than ramen noodles, maybe spaghetti with meat sauce. I've also am teaching my daughters how to do some simple chicken dishes, and obviously a lot of things with some spaghetti, but then also rice, because they both, well, not the first one, but my second one likes rice more than the actual so much spaghetti over and over again. So she's a big rice eater. So those types of things are really, I think, essential for your child. And I please help them do that. Not just to even cook, but also to remember to eat. I mean, that'll take me into the number 3. I said originally it was number 5, but number 3, we'll go into the health and hygiene and being safe. That a lot of the times here, I will, still as a senior in my high school for this last child of mine, I have to call her down and remind her to eat. I have to wake her up to remind her to have lunch on the weekends, and wake her up to have dinner, because there's naps after school, to make sure they understand that, not every day is going to be perfect where you're going to have your 3 square meals a day, but you need to try to make sure to remember to eat. Try to remember to eat somewhat healthy. And if they're not cooking for themselves, but getting their meals on the go, whether it's at the convenience stores and locations, or little restaurants or cafeterias that are there on campus, to be mindful of what it is that they're eating. And my daughters know this a little bit, because they grew up with some different allergies, and also stomach issues. So those stomach issues taught them to be like, okay, what can I eat? What can I eat? How should I eat? But then the stress of school, the stress of life takes over. And believe it or not, eating disorders are very, very common. That's a very sticky slash sensitive subject, but it happens and you don't even realize it, but you can and are on that little border of having issues that can steamroll and become bigger issues. If anybody wants me to talk a little bit more about that, I've had myself and my daughter go through some things. One of my daughters, so I can speak to that a little bit on how to navigate. If you're interested in that or any other things about parenting, let me know. Comment below. I have a 20-something-year-old and an 18-year-old. So, you know, drop me a comment, drop me a question, and just from mom to mom, parent to parent. You could be a dad or a step parent. But you just maybe have a question on like how something was maybe dealt with, just leave me a message and I'll get back to you. And I would be happy to talk about it a little bit. So that was 3. So number 4, I would say it's important for them to know a little bit about finances. So they don't have to, you know, I wrote a book back in the day. It's probably a little bit out of date, but it's called Financial Fitness for Teens. And it came about in a conversation with one of my nieces who didn't even know how to write a check. And we were talking about her going to college and why she wasn't going to college and what she was going to do with herself and what she was budgeting, and just it steamrolled into a huge conversation, and she didn't really know anything. And I came from a household where my father taught me some basics, but a lot of the times no basics are told or shown. And school skips over that. Most schools skip over that. And if not, I would say probably 80% of the schools. There are a percentage of schools that maybe have a class, but not everybody takes a course. And I think it's just some general knowledge on, if they don't have a credit card already, if they do have one, just what it is that they know, review what it is that they know, ask them, and each child is going to have different bills. Some may come into the situation of college being more responsible or already having a job, already knowing how to budget, already paying for their own car. But then there's others who mom and dad have paid for their car. Mom and dad have paid for all of their bills. Mom and dad pay for their cell phone. So take whatever situation that they're in and grow them to the next level. Help them to know and foresee something that may be coming forward for them. So with my daughter, she has worked. She needs to get another job. She will continue to work. We will, of course, help her as much as we can, but and we will be paying for as much as we can. But she still needs to be able to have money, let's say, for all of that extracurricular activities, going out to eat possibly, or any extra shopping that she may need to do. Unfortunately, I'm not rich, so I can't always be like, if she wants something, she can have it or put it on a credit card. Things have to be budgeted out. So take whatever situation that you're in and guide them to what may be coming up for them in this upcoming year of them leaving home. And lastly, this is something that is true to my heart because it's something that I grew up doing and am, and that is time management. Time management, time management, time management, time management. They're home right now. We're just talking specifically about this teenager that is at home about ready to go off into college. So, you know, I still have the calendar. I still have alarms. I still take care of their appointments for their doctors, and I will make phone calls, and I've been trying to get her to, you have to get a prescription filled. You need a doctor's appointment. Okay, which doctor? What's their phone number? How do you call them? It's so funny now. These kids, they get on the phone and they're just like, hello? Yeah. So getting them through that hump of being able to make a phone call a doctor, time management for their work from school, from when they're sleeping, getting their alarms, getting up. And most likely your child is doing this already. They are seniors in high school. They have all of their classes, and if they're in any sports or any other activities outside of just the classroom, that they're probably, the majority of them may already have a good time management built in that they've been working on. In some schools, my girls go to a college prep school, so part of that they started to embed in them is some time management as far as when things are done, looking forward to the schedule on when something may be done and so forth. So to wrap that up, just again, as I said before, take where your child is, see where they maybe need some help so that they're not floundering out there by themselves as a senior, or I'm sorry, as a freshman in college. And it'll help relieve some of that stress, because being away from home and all of the new things that come with being a freshman in college, it can be exciting, but it can also be very stressful for them. So hopefully these top 5 things are something that you can help your child with. And if you like this, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Hello to everybody out there. Be kind to each other and love what you love. Write a comment and just let me know how you're doing, and if there's anything you want to talk about, because I'm going to be talking about stuff. Thanks.